So Angkor Wat is one of the largest temple complexes, and it is incredibly old. It's amazing. They built all different kinds of temples, and they're huge. There are trees growing through the stones, and people in Cambodia really they love Angkor Wat. They think it's very representative of like their history, and like, look at this, look what we did. Isn't this great? And everybody from all around the world comes to see this. My name is Ranallo. Recently returned from the Peace Corps in Cambodia. Oh, it was so exciting. I was so excited. And when I learned I was going to Cambodia, I was even more excited. I really enjoyed my time in India, and I find Asian cultures very interesting. Yeah, I remember like jumping up and down. Kampot, where I lived, is slowly becoming more popular on the tourist circuit. So they're just building like crazy. New restaurants, new hotels. It's also jarring, I think, because you're watching, sort of this growth take over your town, and you begin to wonder what's going to happen to all the people who can't keep up, or who, maybe don't speak English and aren't going to be having their own store. You can see it happen. I mean, expats come in and buy up, chunks of land and things like that, so you're displacing other people who maybe now can't afford to live there because it's so popular and because it's such prime real estate. They're not giving people enough time to sort of adjust to these changes. After the Khmer Rouge, their education system was decimated. Everything was just done. I mean, they killed all the intellectuals. So now you have to build everything from scratch, and I think it takes a really, really long time. So it's a post-conflict country. The Khmer Rouge essentially committed a genocide, forced everyone to move out of Phnom Penh and into like labor camps. But the fighting didn't really stop until the 90s. So there were still parts of the country that were like warring factions. I also wish I would have been aware of, or like I would have understood more about what had actually happened in the country. But it's incredibly shocking when you walk out to your soccer field at your school and there's, it's a killing field. And there's a stupa full of like bones and things like that from people that have died there. And it's so pervasive because everybody you ever meet, a simple question like how many brothers and sisters do you have turns into, well, I had 5 and now I only have 1 because they were all murdered. And it's very intense. The people make it really, really special. It is like outstanding to me how kind and welcoming people can be. My host father I grew up during the Khmer Rouge. He was a child soldier for a little while, grew up in the orphanage, witnessed his family's murders. But he is one of the most gentle, loving people I've ever met. It's incredible that something so horrific and so awful can happen to somebody and they just rise above. I have learned, it's almost selfish because I feel like I've learned more about myself And I helped myself more than I helped anybody in that country. I think that because it was so challenging and because every day was like just like an experience in and of itself, I've never felt so low and so high at 20 different points in the day. I am incredibly grateful for that experience, and I tell anyone that I ever meet to do it. I feel like more Americans should be exposed to the world outside of America, because America is an anomaly. Like, you know, the majority of people in the world don't live like we do. People don't really understand how good they have it. And I don't think I really realized the extent of that until I left and came back and tried to talk to people. And like, you either get this glaze over someone's eyes when you talk about Peace Corps, or they're actually really excited. But more often than not, you get the glaze. Like, I love America, but I also hate it. I hate that we live in this little bubble, this little world, and things, like, everyone needs so many things, and that's so frustrating to me. And it's so frustrating to have to fight to not get sucked back into that.